Well, I mean, for me, I came from an educated family.
Yeah.
Everybody hides their things. So, of course, you know, here I am. I'm not always figuring out what I want to do. You know, there's a gray slate box around my head. That's how I describe my depression. And so what I ended up doing was, you know, I would sit on the couch. That's the best way to describe it. I'd sit on the couch and go, wow, that's 3 hours of my life I just missed. And you know, I just never...
Sit on the couch and do nothing, or just watch TV or something, or...
You know what? The TV would be on, the dogs would be sitting next to me, and then all of a sudden I'd look at my watch and go, oh my, that's, you know, 3 hours down the road. I got to go to work. And, you know, I wasted time just sitting and not knowing where the last 3 days went or something like that.
And just so people can understand, when you sat, did you just ruminate? Did you think about stuff? What did you do?
No, the way I describe it is, if you know, a gray box was around my head, and it just was gray. There, you know, I never wanted to kill myself. I never wanted to die. I just didn't want to live anymore. I just stopped living. So, as opposed
you didn't enjoy anything?
No, just didn't care. I just really didn't care about anything. I'd go to work. You know, my job is to make people, I entertain people. I would entertain people, but I'd come straight home.
Greg's a very, very successful disc jockey on the radio, and so, yeah, and so you come home, but you'd entertain them, but you wouldn't be entertaining yourself, would you?
No, nothing made me happy. And then, I mean, there would be those brief moments I'd be back and forth, but for the longest time, I would sit there and I would kind of just go, and one of the big questions that actually got answered in the book for me was purpose, because one of the things that I realized was I needed to find something to make me get out of the box. And, you know, your book definitely had that ability to do that. So,
well, I'm glad. You know, the thing is that for me, purpose and finding purpose was one of the most difficult things I've ever done, because people say, well, yeah, you know, what is that? What does that mean, finding purpose? It doesn't mean that you have to change the planet, right? It doesn't mean that you have to change the course of humanity, because it doesn't have to be something big. It's just having purposeful activities every single day. So, for example, you know, for me, it's like finding small victories throughout the day, saying, you know, I want to be able to do this. And then a big victory, like, I'd like to make this show be able to help people. For you, what did you find as your purpose to help you to get off the couch, to help you live life?
You know, well, I went to a therapist who actually said, you know, you suffer from depression. And I went, what? I thought that was just my personality. So what ended up happening was I started to talk to kids, and I started to talk to people about my depression. And I said, one of the crazy, I have stood at Joe Louis Arena in front of 25,000 people. The toughest thing I've ever done was about 200 people, and I said, I'm just like you. I have depression. And what I've done now is I've gone out, and instead of sitting at home, I'll go talk to kids. I'll go work with kids. I'm with the Humane Society. And it's just given me a chance to go and say, instead of staying within myself, I really have a lot to give to other people.
And what's wonderful is, you talked before the show, you know, the feeling of that not everything is going according to plan is really part of the plan. You know, and I think a lot of people, especially in the Western world, in America, and also Canada, people think that, well, you know, I've got to be happy all the time.
Yeah.
It's got to be, you know, it's like that song, I can't remember who did it, but here I am, please entertain me right now. And the thing is that, you know, sadness and happiness and sometimes being disappointed is really a part of life. And there's nothing to be ashamed about that. And you talk to people about that, don't you?
Oh, I do. I talk about it all the time. And I said, there are going to be days where you're going to wake up and you're just going to be, but you can get through that. And one of the biggest ways to get through it is you work and you say, hey, can you help me? And that's where that's where you start building a tribe.
Yeah, and you've helped other people. And the nice thing is that now the research shows what you've experienced, which is that when you have purpose, guess what? The diseases in your life actually change, right? Heart attacks decrease, strokes decrease, depression decreases, Alzheimer's decreases. So just finding one thing that is finding purpose in your life can actually change the trajectory of your entire life. It's time to take a break. Up next, we'll learn how taking on my 5 steps to becoming your own health hero led Greg to change his eating habits, add in movement, and drop some weight. Don't go away. I'll be right back.